describe that game, because there was a lot to unpack there.
Obviously our emotions kind of got pretty high there, and we talk a lot about big moments in games and continuing to compete really hard. Our compete level was extremely high all night. We got the building going, we get back 3-3, and I think basically, unfortunately, we lost our emotional control a little bit and took a penalty that we would normally take, and it cost us. So, big time learning lesson for us for sure. But on the positive side, we got a hockey team, and we got a group of guys that were fun to watch tonight.
Brett, what can you say about the team's overall drive in that third period? What did you tell them going into period 3, and how did that motivate them?
Well, let me go back just a little bit. I thought the first period was one of our best we've had in a long time. We outshoot them 15-5. We control the puck. We control the possession. We've got the puck in their end most of the time. It's funny. We just had about 15 alumni here, the Palings and Spencer Meyer and all those guys, and Micah Miller, and just talking to all of them after. Really, unfortunately we only gave them 2 chances for the first half of the game, and unfortunately they were both breakaways and ended up in our net. There were just way too many good things in the most of the game, to be honest, to leave with a real negative feel, other than obviously losing our emotional control at the end and the penalty.
Noah Ernest and Mason Reiners get their first goals as Huskies.
Yep.
What can you just tell us about that?
I'll start with Mason Reiners. He's just been such a good, steady defenseman for us and does all the little things. He's just really fun to coach and a big part of our team. So to see him finally get that goal was huge. And obviously that lifted up the bench, gave us a ton of energy and excitement, got the building going. You could tell the fans just wanted to cheer. I mean, they could tell how good we were playing, but we couldn't get anything going. So once we got that first one, I thought just the feel and the mojo in the building was great. And then obviously Noah Ernest on the power play. I think the fans are going to love watching him for his career here. Brings a lot of speed, a lot of talent, can make plays. Had a really good year last year in the USHL, and I think I really like that line right now of him and Rode and Thorson. They're really getting a lot of things done out there and creating a lot of offense.
What about Tyson Gross and the way he was able to tie the game? Obviously, he's a junior captain. The fact that he's a captain as a junior shows his leadership on and off the ice. But the fact that he's able to do that in a big way, what can you say about his leadership ability in that moment?
Obviously, he kind of kept the team going. A guy like that, he just plays the game the right way all the time. He never wavers from it. The part of that play that I was really happy with is we've really been trying to find ways to come through the neutral zone with more speed and be able to be on the attack a little bit more. We thought last year it was one of the parts of our game that we really never could get going. I really liked how they moved the puck with speed. They supported the puck through the zone, and it paid off for Tyson. But that part of our game is getting better. We're definitely a faster team this year than we were a year ago.
What'd you tell Damien when he took that penalty?
Well, we just talked in the locker room, and I could pretend that it didn't happen, or we could address it. And the fact of the matter is there's nobody that feels worse than him right now. And we just talked about managing our emotions. He let his emotions get away from him for a very brief time, and took a penalty that hurt the team. So he knows it, feels terrible, obviously. I think the team also knows, though, that there's a team in that room. There's a team in that room.
What did you think of Show's sack in his first official start?
That he played great. We can't give up, the breakaways were also odd plays. So Thor Bufflin's trying to make the exact right play. We get pucks to the weak side on those transition plays right away, fires it, it hits Rode, and bounces off him to their guy for a breakaway. St. Thomas played very well. They're a really good team, so I don't mean this in any disrespectful way, but boy, a couple of those bounces that went against us for those breakaways were tough.
It seemed to me early in the second period specifically, it seemed like some of the players were either trying to do too much or trying to do things perfect. Did you notice anything like that?
Well, I think what happened is we get down 3-0, and now we're throwing the kitchen sink at them. We are trying too much. We got to find a way to get a goal, and we gave up another breakaway that Jan saved because of it. But at that point, when you're down 3, you can't sit back anymore. You got to do whatever you can to try to get that first one.
I was going to ask you, through that rally, through that run that you guys had, if your feeling of momentum changed at all, or if you guys felt, you mentioned that you felt you played good the whole game. Do you feel like you were different?
Well, I think the difference is, and this is what we couldn't get last year, is we were able to stack those goals and get the building going and getting that brings up your energy level and your team's. To be honest, the amount of plays we made from there were a ton of them. So I think we were able to stack those goals, get the building going, get our confidence going. We weren't able to do that enough last year in the second half, so I think that's a really good sign here early.
Is it fair to say there was maybe a lack of communication in the first 2 periods on your defense? Because a lot of the time, when they had those breakaways or those open ice opportunities, there seemed to be a lack of just chemistry.
Well, like I said, it wasn't, the first one for sure was a totally lucky bounce. So it's really hard to say communication. And I'd have to go back and look at the other one again. I thought we had a little bit of lack of communication on a couple of rush plays that didn't end up in our net. But those are things that can keep getting better for sure. And we'll have some good video to teach from here moving forward.
If you had to name 2 or 3 things to work on going into next weekend, what would they be?
Well, that's a hard thing. Coming in the locker room, we were like, what do we change? Well, we're playing really well right now. So, I think we just got to keep getting better at our basics and our structure, and obviously grow emotionally and mentally a little bit through a tough night, a tough result. Learning how to play in those big moments without losing your composure. But other than that, it's just get back to work on what makes us good. And what I really was hoping that we would get better at is our speed coming up the ice through the neutral zone and being on the attack more. And I thought we were able to enter the zone with more possession than having to dump pucks. We don't want to dump pucks. It's the last thing we want to do. So I think that part of our game is really improving, and I think it can keep getting better.
First goal of the Huskies, finally. How does it feel?
Yeah, it feels good. It took a while, but feels good, obviously. I didn't have to do much there. Barrett pretty much did all the work, but yeah, it was good.
The play was sort of a fast break for you, seeing it develop. How did it feel?
Yeah, I mean, we kind of knew we had to pressure for some offense, so had an opportunity to go and just jumped up there.
What about that play that Barrett made to get it to you? What does it say about his ability to lead the charge and you to follow suit?
Yeah, that was a really good play by him. Obviously, I think he had 3 or 4 guys on the other team thinking he was going the other way and went back to me. Basically could have skated it in the net, I think. Like, that's how good of a play it was from him, so it was great.
How does that goal just change the momentum of this entire game? You still fall short, but it led to a 3-goal comeback and a pretty close game where it wasn't that way in the first 2 periods.
Yeah, it was big. I mean, anytime you get a shorthanded goal, it's big for momentum in general. I mean, that really changed it, and just to get that first one early in the period, I think was big. Power play capitalized right after that, too, so that was big as well.
First official game was Showstack and net behind you. How did it feel just with someone else behind you?
Yeah, it was good. He's really good, obviously. He was really strong back there. I think kind of left him out to dry a few times, but he held his own for his first game. He was good.
So many of these games early on, when at home, was there a specific message or mentality that you guys wanted to protect home? I mean, Tommy's came in with a lot of attitude tonight, it seems like.
Yeah, I mean, anytime we're at home, you want to win at home. I mean, it feels even better than winning on the road. You do not want to lose in your own rink, so you want to bring that extra edge, little extra energy, and fight to win games at home.
I know it's a loss, but I mean, it feels like there were, well, you tell us, I guess, what were some of the big positives out of tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing was the third period. We didn't give up. We kind of had a choice. We could either pack it in the third and call it a game, or we could try to fight back, which we did. We evened it up. We were there, got ourselves back into the game, and I think that was the biggest positive from tonight.
What was the message in the locker room before the third period?
Pretty much that. We had a choice to make. We're either going to call it, or we're going to go out there and fight and get ourselves back in, and we chose to fight. We did it. We got ourselves back there, but ultimately just fell short at the end there.
Well, Barry, I know it's a loss, but it seems like I don't know. It seems like there were some good things, though. I mean, overall for you guys. But you just kind of describe, I guess, what you guys are going to kind of take away from that game.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of positives to take out of that. I think we controlled the first period. I think we, fell behind a bit in the second, and then we, played our game in the third. And I think it's important that, especially for these young guys, that it's their first game in front of a crowd like that here at the Herb, and to get their feet under them, and for Jan to kind of get his feet wet, and I think Ernie and Roeder and these guys are playing valuable minutes for us, and for them to kind of just get their feet under them and feel what it's like, and kind of step into that third period and really play our game is important. I think that's what we're going to take away from that.
Taking through that pass, how are you able to set up that goal and make such a play?
Inside about the one to Reiners.
Yeah, I mean, we've kind of shifted our penalty kill a little bit this year, and that's kind of what we're trying to generate. We're trying to generate offense, off of defense, and yeah, I mean, it's great talk. I heard from the bench actually that we had a 3-on-2, and you know, just head up and saw him drop behind me and made the play.
And that was shorthanded. I mean, that wasn't 5-on-5. The fact that you have a shorthanded situation, what can you say about the aggression you had on that play?
Yeah, I mean, aggression's exactly what we're going for. This summer we worked a lot with Reuter, mostly Reuter and Clarkey run the penalty kill, and we watched a lot of NHL clips, and the majority of the NHL is killing aggressive. They're getting outside the dots, they're getting out to those D and creating plays like that, and that was kind of executed to a T there.
To see him, first goal, I mean, he's a senior. I mean, it's a long haul for him.
Yeah. I mean, by no means is he probably classified as a goal scorer, but I mean, to see a guy like that who's just put his heart and soul into this team, and he's known for blocking shots and breaking pucks out, and that's exactly what we need from him. But for him to contribute on the board is pretty cool.
What can you say about Tyson Gross in that game-tying goal, and the fact that it resembles his leadership and helping this team come back the way it did?
Yeah, I mean, leadership is exactly what it was. Again, I didn't know what I was really looking at. I heard him talk and was able to make a simple drop pass to him, and yeah, I mean, for him to rip that, and I think actually Bernie got a piece of that in front. So, all three of us contributing on that one to bring that one back into reach. But yeah, I mean, he's been all three captains and Mason have all been pivotal leaders for us this year, and they've led by example, and that's exactly what Grosser did there.
You mentioned Gross and Bernabek, and obviously that's that first line right there. How is a play like that just an example of what you could do together this season?
Yeah, I think that we kind of found our stride towards the end of the game. I'd say it's three skill guys, with high motors, and we're looking to generate as much offense as we can, and shut down other teams' top lines and make them play defense. And that's going to be kind of our goal. And yeah, we want teams game planning against us, and that's what we're going to do.
You talk about guys getting their feet under them, right? Jan, obviously, first college game, and just kind of give your take, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, the scoreboard's a bit deceiving. I thought he played great, and he's going to continue to play great. I mean, he's a gamer. He's the hardest goalie I've ever shot on in practice, and that's going to just translate perfect to games. And he's going to be a real problem for teams. And he's got his feet wet, and that's going to be a problem for teams for sure.
How would you compare him to Isaac Bosch?
Yeah, I mean, they're very similar. Obviously, the size difference, but I mean, I think they're both just so solid. They both kind of, if you're in tight, they come out real far and really give you nothing. I mean, I think of coming down on Posher and coming down on Jan, there's nothing to shoot at. You kind of just got to shoot and hope it goes in, and yeah, that's kind of, they're both similar in that way, and yeah, they're both going to be leaders for us and carry us on the back end.